Alright, for Viper walls on A, most Vipers I see in game do this wall, which is good. It's the exact same as one I'm going to show you, but it actually leaves this tiny little gap here, which can just get you killed. There's just no point risking it when it's a complete safe way to do it. And that's just to come here and fire it here. You see this blue line, this is not actually how long the wall is, which is stupid, but it's not actually that long. So if I throw it here, you'll see that it should cut off here, but it won't. It'll go all the way through. So yeah, that's just the best way to do it, because it completely blocks off mid like this, blocks off heaven, and blocks off main, with no gap in the wall whatsoever. Do 50 HP change when they walk for it, they take 50 HP. It's insane, especially for mid. If they just hold it from B mail, they walk through this, they take 50 damage. It should be easy kills. If you're playing B as Viper, I recommend using your Poison Orb in B main, and I'll show you a one way for that later. And I recommend using your wall in mid and A to help your team. You just come here and do it like this. It's going to be the exact same as the A wall. You want to make sure that this lines up here, like this. Exactly like this. What this is going to do is it's going to block off mid, just like the old one. This is going to block here, so if they're peeking this, they're decaying right here. In this spot right here, they're decaying. So if they're peeking, they're decaying. If they go through, they take 50 health. It's really good for A as well. It helps your team massively. Whilst you're on B with your one way, which I'll show you later. Alright, so for Poison Orbs on defense on A site, there aren't really many. You've got your wall obviously, which is blocking off the main and heaven. And you could get an orb that lands here, but I don't like this because they always peek from here and it just doesn't really help you when they peek here. So I suggest either using orb here in the heaven to make everyone who pushes out of main decay in here instantly, and you can just poison it and kill people within 2 seconds. So I recommend doing that, or using the single one that I have on A, and that's to come in this corner and just aim at the top of this. And then, yeah, this is the one way for when they can't ramp. It's not very good, but you will see the legs here. So you have, I'd say, at least 400 milliseconds before they see you. As you can see here, they see you back here. Start killing you. Should win the fight. It's still an advantage. Right, on B, there are a bunch of fancy one ways that you can do. There's the one in male, which is the one that I use the most, to be honest. It's great. Just line this corner up with this, as shown, and then just click, and this will just destroy people. You can't push through it, take 50 damage, you can't push past it because they see their legs, they can't see you. It's insane. The only way they can do this is by smoking you, and then you can rotate more people towards A, whilst you can just hold this smoke. It's insane. The one for B main, I'll show you right now. You're gonna come here and line up this T section right here, like so. And then there's a rope right here, that you see. You're gonna be at the very bottom of this rope and just click, and it's gonna get stuck right there. And this is an insane one. You'll see the legs, you'll see everything before they can even do anything. I'll show you what it looks like on that screen. They can't see anything. Literally anything. If it was to crouch and see you at the very back here, but from over here, they won't see you at all. They'd have to back here and then peek you like this. So you're at a massive advantage. And if you actually go up top of this barrel right here, they can't see you at all. Like, no matter what, they can't see you. Even if they're at the back. So this one way is it's insane. For Viper lineups, the actual goos themselves, there aren't really many on defense. I've got one for B. The ones on A you can just sort of chuck it behind screens for retake, make them clear out, and spam this once you've done that. There's also the one at backside. This one is actually good. If you come here and just run and shoot it like this, it'll clear backside completely, which means your teammates pushing from elbow are going to have a guy who's vulnerable having to peek them. So you just hold this with your goo, easy kills. So that's the best ones for retake. I should want to be right now. You're going to come into this corner and then this leaf right here. Just literally aim here and shoot. And this will land backside. And anyone who's actually playing a normal angle will be made vulnerable. Anyone sitting in the corner is forced to stay here. Or forced to stay here. So when you're pushing out, you've got people vulnerable pushing out this way. Or you've got people sitting in the corner, which means you can take fights here. Here, whatever, and then you can finally peek these guys who have been forced to stay here thanks to your goo. offense walls, these are quite easy and self-explanatory to do. In the one in sewers, just come here. You want to line up in the middle of heaven. I'll show you why in a second. Like this, so not on the right, not on the left, but in the middle. It'll block off this if you want to push sight, and it's going to block this. Now, they can actually peek, but if they peek, they're going to take minus 50, and they're going to be in a decay. So this is just, it's insane. If you just want, if you're an eco or something, you know you can't win the fights, just move it more right, it's easy. But that I like, because then they can't use the wall to like shift back here and get into this corner. Because if they do that, they'll be 1 HP by the time the wall's down. So I like that wall for offense. And then for B, sorry. The wall is literally just the same but on heaven. Use the rafters. Like this. Do it in rafters. And this is going to block off most of heaven. You can't really see much from here. But if they push up really close, this is just a very exposed angle. If you've got teams coming from here, they'll see them instantly. It's just, no one's going to peek this, they're just going to fall down or something. This is going to give you a free pass onto sight. Right, for Viper Orb lineups, for A, you've got the simple one to get screens. And that's just to come here, name anywhere in this sort of line. If you can look at the map, you actually see where the lineup's going to land. So you can see that anywhere across here, gonna actually land in screens, you know. So just shoot that. It will land here. And anyone pushing to elbows will be 1 HP. Anyone pushing to screens will be 1 HP. So it's just spamming the smoke. But yeah, that's just the one for A. Alright, for all the lineups on B, you're just gonna come up here and you're gonna aim right here with your HUD line of your Viper gas. As you can see right here, like this, on that Chinese letter right there. And you're just going to throw it, and it's going to land on top of new box. And what this is going to do is completely block heaven, under heaven, and everything when you come up main. This is in case your wall is defaulted on A, because you have another smoker, or for whatever reason. You're going to use this and you can easily get onto site. For Viper lineups for A, with the goose, I have one for here, here, and here. All default plants. There's obviously ones for heaven, but you can usually play heaven and, you know, just chuck it from here, from heaven, anywhere. But the ones I have lineups for are shown here. First one is to come here and aim where this mine meets the big light at the top. It's going to land default. The next one is the same place, but you're just going to aim here, the right side, but a bit up, just a tiny bit up, and that's going to land right here. And that's going to stop the planting here, and then the one here is from a different position, from right here. It's going to come here and aim where these two meet, like this, and that will land it in the corner. So there's every single default lineup that you should learn, and you can kill people so quickly with these. Right, B's a bit more tricky because this plant is so obstructed by everything. So this is the default that everyone plants in, but if you can get a team that plants here and plants this, looking this way, so it's actually planted for main, and then when you're in main you can just, you know, jump through this, jiggle this, jiggle this. There's so many things you can do just to throw goose on this. You could also try and hit a bank shot off this to hit default, which is just as good. But if you do want to have lineups and you have your orb on it, I suggest using these lineups. If you have your orb on it and you just want to, you know, chill out for a bit, aim at the top of the grass here, a bit more right, to like this line of the grey thing. When you shoot that, it should bounce off there and hit right here, and it's going to block the entire default.
Poison Orb emitting.
Viper for offense, I have one lineup on B. It's a sort of lineup. You just come in this corner, aim at the red bit here. And this will leave a tiny little gap here for you to hide in. Tiny little gap here. So you can hide here, no one's going to see you, you pop back in, kill their default. There's so many outplay potentials with this. There's also gaps here and here. This ult is probably the best ult on split. At least that I could find.